guys, this is Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and you can see this beautiful bad boy piece right here. This is the Titan Fitness Stealth Leg Press. Yes, a rack-mounted leg press. This is not the first one, but this is one of the most affordable options that's out there, and one of the early ones that's available, designed to help people that are working out in small spaces with racks to have a leg press within their setup. Now, most of you have probably come from a commercial style setting, gym, so you're used to having a leg press. Titan recognizes that, and so the Stealth Leg Press is designed as a unit that goes in the rack and can be used as a leg press. It can also be used as something else, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, and then I'll tell you whether that's like an actual good idea or not. However, this one I've been able to use for leg press, single leg press, kickbacks, chest press even, and some other movements, and so I've got a good idea on it. First up is build quality. This is a Titan Fitness piece, so you have to understand it's built primarily on a value basis. So they're importing product, and the goal is like, how can we maximize features and quality barring a low enough price that people will actually buy it? So there's other companies out there that are making better quality equipment than Titan, but not always a better value. And so this is really designed to fit into that value spectrum with a lot of componentry and like unique features. And so the quality on this is surprisingly pretty good for Titan. Titan has continually upped their game. Honestly, I have not reviewed a Titan piece in quite a while in which I wouldn't recommend it, because their quality has improved across the board on all the stuff that we've used. So if you look at the powder coat, it's the typical Titan powder coat that is the upgraded version from the previous version. So it's not slick, it's not super textured, not very aggressive, but there is a little bit of like sand type texture within there in the powder coat that's gonna prevent it from marring and scarring and also like rusting over time. It's also got the same powder coat on the back of the sleeves, and then it's using UHMW plastic on the actual J-hook rest that rests on the J-hook, and that allows like the pendulum to work. That right there is extremely unnecessary because it's gonna be sitting on a UHMW plastic J-hook. However, I'm really glad they put it on there because it's just a nice feature and shows like, hey, Titan is like kind of taking the things that people want and like adding them to it. This right here is something like stands out. The original Titan belt squat had a very similar platform as this. It's a thin piece of aluminum diamond plate. It looks cool, like it doesn't matter from what angle, it just like, sometimes you can get in front of it and like see your reflection if you want to use it as a mirror, but it also just like grips your foot really well. So it's got like these diamonds here. I, in leg press, didn't notice like any movement of my foot, which is really nice. I think this suffices. I think it does well, and it's also cut pretty well on the sides, so there really aren't that many, if any, sharp edges. That's a problem that can often happen with diamond plates, so it's nice that they put it in there. And instead of using rivets, like they used to on the belt squat, in which we called them out on, they now use bolts, which allows it to stay further up against there and stiffen. Now, the quality and componentry, everything like that, it's not bad. I don't think it's like the best thing in the world, but there's a lot of pieces on it that are honestly kind of surprising. This in particular, that is a pop pin with an anodized aluminum cap with the Titan logo like screen printed on. It's not etched in, it kind of looks like it's etched, but it's actually screen printed on. That is a very nice feature to add on. They don't have a ton of stickers. This is really the only one up here, but it just like shows like Titan is improving. The reason I'm talking about this is because like this is an example of them improving their quality, listening to people like us that are doing reviews and their customers, and like, okay, we will improve it without raising the price dramatically. This is cool. Good job, Titan. Now to the actual function and the use of it. This is primarily designed as a leg press. Although there are other functionalities of it, I'm reviewing it largely based on the fact that it's a leg press. Here's what I will say. In use, as a leg press, once it's set up, barring any other things you have to do to it, it actually feels pretty darn good. It actually feels very similar if you guys have ever used a hammer strength plate-loaded pendulum leg press. That's pretty much how it feels, and that's kind of how it's set up. They were actually, this is one of the better first version of Titan products I've used, because the angles on this, the angles on the weight stacks, the bars, everything, it's angled in such a way that it still feels loaded even when you're at the bottom of the rep. So it does change in weight as you get higher up. As you get further away, it gets heavier. As you get closer, it gets lighter. So it's not like exactly mimicking a vertical leg press or a 45-degree leg press like you find in a commercial gym. However, it does a pretty good job because they were smart about angling this properly so it's pitched back and angling these up so the weight is always like there's always some sort of resistance. So in use, using it as it's primarily designed, which is leg press, I was pretty satisfied with it. There is some things that you have to think about, like you're using an incline bench, so you have to also have an incline bench, which I would definitely say is something you should buy before this. However, when you have an incline bench, if you're going very heavy on this, you have to make sure that the incline bench isn't moving. I noticed a couple times in pressing it that the incline bench would like scoot back a little bit. So making sure that that's weighted is definitely something I would suggest. However, once you're like locked in and everything, it feels pretty good. In addition to that, you can use it as a kickback platform, which is something, you know, is very popular today because girls, I guess guys do too, want to build their glutes so they look good and they can use peach emojis on Instagram. The kickback can work in that fashion. This is not, in my opinion, primarily designed as a kickback. It was like, hey, this works as a leg press. Let's see what other things we can add to it to like increase the value for people. And a kickback is one of them. Another is like chest press. You can stand here or get against the bench and like press against it. Again, not like the most ideal idea and doesn't work perfect, but it can work. Now, one of the things on the leg press that once you're like setting up and getting ready to use it, I don't absolutely love is these. These go in here, and this is what is basically your stoppers. So you have two of them. You can adjust the height. There's 3 different holes here on the sides. You put them in here. You then put the leg press back to where you want it. And it basically allows you to start at the top of a rep, similar to like you would on bench or like you would on a typical leg press. You unlock the snaps and then you're ready to go. The problem is, one, these aren't like extremely smooth. So like you can hear like, the other thing is like, these do flex a little bit. When there's a lot of weight on here, like they flex a little bit more than I'd like. And you're having to like stabilize the weight, press it out, and lean forward and pull these out in order to get it like out of the system. It's just like not a very ideal experience. I do not have a better way of doing that. This is the best way I could probably think of too. It's just understand like the way this is designed, like this is a somewhat uncomfortable part of it. And another uncomfortable part is getting it up into the rack. This thing is not light. It weighs 123 pounds, so that's pretty heavy because it's awkward. This thing's like grinding against your leg, you're having to lift it up and put it on there. It's just not like the most ideal situation. This leads me to the last like function of this that I haven't talked about yet, and that is the sled. This is designed and can be used as a sled. Yes, it has these removable pieces on the back that can like come off or come on. They're actually pretty well designed because they can also use a barbell placed in here if you want to add extra resistance on the sides on the barbell, or if you want to add band resistance. That said, the sled portion of this is This is my feeling with this. It was like, let's make a leg press, and then they were like, what else can we add to it without adding a ton of extra cost? Oh, we can add some sled feet so people can use this sled. Let's do that. Oh, we can add extra weight horns so you can like turn them over and do them as dips because you can do that. But the reality is for dips, they're a little too wide. And then for sled, this bar is a little too low. It just feels like awkward, uncomfortable. These little pieces right here can be put into here. And you can put plates on top. They don't fit exactly perfectly. It's like, I like that it can do that. But for most people, I would not suggest buying this on those basis because if you did, you would be sorely disappointed because it just doesn't work really well in that like design. This is primarily designed for a leg press. And if you're going to use it primarily for a leg press, I would kind of recommend it, but here's my caveat. This thing is awkward and heavy. So the difficulty is, are you somebody who doesn't mind setting up every time you work out? If you're willing to do that, I recommend it because it's designed pretty well. It's one of the better pendulum that I've seen. It's priced really well at 600 bucks, but it's free shipping. This is a big unit. 600 bucks for a leg press that you can add weight to with plates. Not that bad of a value. So do I recommend this? Yes, with the caveat that you're gonna actually take it apart and use it. But if you're somebody like me, when I come out to the gym, I wanna work out. Like I don't wanna think about like assembling all these parts. I wanna just go. So if you're like that, then this probably isn't the best piece for you because it does take a lot of setup. Okay, so this is the Titan Stealth Leg Press. What do you think? Is this something you'd add to your gym? Is it something you'd actually use? Let me know in the comments. I will see you next time. This has been Coop from Garage Gym Review. Peace!